like I know we've talked about like how streaming services are really kicking off now, and I mean it feels like a whole revolution now where like
Yeah.
it started with Netflix obviously, like with Daredevil and many other original content, and now of course like HBO Max, Disney Plus, even though they're getting heat right now for the Florida Don't Say Gay bill
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, there's many things. I think now there's so much content. It's hard to really like sort through. But I guess Apple TV has it's really weird because you don't think about Apple TV that much. Like I think Netflix and Disney Plus and HBO are like big names, so I think
Yeah.
that's why people attribute to so many, I guess, quality content. But if you really dig, you actually you watch like different media,
Yeah.
you could find like some gems in the hidden dirt. But that's great. That I'm definitely gonna check out some of those shows that you mentioned.
Oh, for sure. And like we always say, the industry's always evolving. I mean, other shows are great. I mean, other streaming platforms are great. Like, and even like for example, I think HBO Max is gonna have a merger with the Discovery app, where like Discovery apps primarily. Like they have 90 Day Fiance, they have like reality like TV shows there, but I think they're gonna have a merger because it's basically owned by like Warner, or I think the other way around. Discover owns like Warner Brothers or something like that. I forgot. It's like the parent company or something. They're gonna mix it.
I would think
Uh,
Warner would be the parent company.
yeah. So, but yeah, HBO Max is great too. Most of the movies that I've seen, honestly, instead of going to the movie theater, I saw it there on HBO Max. At least in the beginning, the Batman's coming up. I think this month too in HBO Max as well.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, and Disney Plus is like I don't have like children in my household, so it's like I mostly stick around for Star Wars or
You are the child.
I
With
am the
the-
child. You know, yeah.
Na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah, I mean, and Paramount Plus is great. I can't wait for everyone to see our review of Halo. It's cooking. We're kind of waiting. We saw episode 2 right now, so we're kind of like trying to debrief on what we just saw and how give it a chance, right? Everyone's talking a lot of shit about that
Just give
show.
me a chance.
What
How
about I
about my
fucking
uncle?
under? Yeah. But it's even we have YouTube. I got rid of cable a while back, so we even have YouTube TV now, which is funny. It's just basically cable, but you stream it. Like cable soon is gonna die down eventually.
Oh, cable's dead, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
nobody's paying for fucking like Verizon is still kind of like the top dog for cable content, but that's because they also have like their FiOS package too, so it comes with internet and everything now. But I feel like Comcast now is dying
Oh yeah,
or
for
is
sure.
dead.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna last much longer, and I think I'm wondering how will they compensate? Will they do something in order to like stay around? It's
Well,
one
that's
of
why
those
they're trying to
things.
do all those bundles now with like Hulu and Netflix
Yeah.
and shit because they're trying to stay relevant.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I think with well, no, I have Sprint. Sprint, you get Hulu for free, but that's a different story. But like, I wonder what else they're gonna do. Like, I think they have like Netflix or something. You get like for free in your. Well,
I think
Netflix
that
is.
no, I think Verizon used to have Netflix because I used to watch Netflix on my TV,
Yeah,
but I think you only get it for like a month free, and then I think you have to like pay like a subscription fee,
yeah, and you know what?
like with
Netflix
your
is so.
bill.
Yeah,
Yeah, like with your cable bill, you pay like an extra fee like for your for Netflix.
and like Netflix is so expensive, man. It's like one of the most
It's almost
expensive.
$20 fucking, and it's almost more than gas.
Yeah, and like most of the stuff they have there is like all right, but like then they put like some Chechnyan show that it's like I'm not a big fan of, or like whatever. It's just like whatever. I don't know.
I
Like I think they need to dip the prices more, like put it more down. Because seriously, all the streaming apps like Apple TV Plus won an Oscar for Coda, and look, it's only $4, right, or $5, whatever. So I
I
don't
do
know.
like Netflix's animated quality though.
Yeah,
Like I think they have a lot of good like animated originals, and they have like a wide selection of anime also. Like I'm surprised. I wonder if they. I forgot who got nominated this year for animation, but I feel like one of them should have been at least like a Netflix special.
oh,
Especially
that's
because we
interesting.
watched like Love, Death, and Robots. That should
Oh
have won a fucking
yeah,
animation award.
I forgot
It's
about that.
just
that
interesting.
that was so long ago when we were
I know.
like, back then.
It's like those hidden gems you don't think about, like I said. But as far as our live action content, I haven't been too crazy about. I think, like I said, like these newer apps are really taking off. Like Hulu now, I think is really doing really well.
They're doing well, yeah. Although I'm like a little bit like I'm really selective with Hulu. Like I could find more stuff to watch on like different platforms, but like Hulu's like they have hidden gems there. You usually have to wait a long time. I'm watching the show right now, but oh, I think it's called True Crime Story, or they did one with Versace or Gucci.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
American Crime Story. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
I
have
watched the
one.
second season. Yeah, that's the one with Versace. That was I love that because Darren Chris, I think. Or Darren
Yes.
Chris. Yeah,
Oh, he was so
he's half
good.
Filipino. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was so good. And then they have the one with Bill Clinton now, which it's okay, whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
The
watching.
first
Oh,
season was about like OJ Simpson, I think, right?
yes, OJ was so good in that. Everybody was good. Like even in this show with Bill Clinton, it was really great. And now I also watch on there the one with Elle Fanning, which there was a documentary called "I Love You Now Die" about this girl who like kind of persuade her boyfriend to like kill himself. And like now they made a show about it, which is pretty cool. I mean, that well,
Okay.
no, it's pretty cool because no, because it's a well acted show. It's like a really like great production they have going on. It's so authentic and like beautifully acted by Elle Fanning and her boyfriend, which I don't know his name. I never seen this dude in my life, but he plays the part like phenomenally. I thought they actually got a guy from the street and like say, "Hey, can you come here?" He was so like authentic. I swear that guy is so good. You guys could watch that right now on Hulu. I don't know the name. I'm sorry, but check out Elle Fanning.
The same actor as Bakudo.
The Bakuda. We don't bring back the essay. We don't bring back that.
What's that guy doing now?
I don't know, man. I used to see him in like a lot of 2000 stuff, and now
They
I
should
don't
have made
know.
him the villain of Moon Knight. Just bring him
After
back.
after like she cut off his head, he stopped like getting work after that. That was it.
He couldn't get ahead.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, the Riddler.
But
So
on that note, I guess we should get into our.
Ah!
Welcome
They want-
everybody to another episode of Lunch Table Podcast.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry.
We apologize. Dylan and Akram here. We got another episode for you guys. Jumping into episode 1 of Moon Knight on Disney Plus, starring Oscar Isaac, of course, as the titular character. Wonderful episode. You really brought in this latest addition or this newest character to the MCU. Akram, tell me your initial thoughts.
Yeah, I honestly loved this pilot. It felt like a pilot. Felt like it wasn't connected to the MCU. It was really, I think, unique, especially to put on Disney Plus. It didn't even feel like it was owned by Marvel. It's weird. It kind of felt like it was owned by like I don't know, like Universal or something. And I really appreciated that because we haven't gotten something like that. Usually with a Marvel show, you expect some sort of continuity, and with this, uh it really had to work to get the audience's attention. Usually with like for example Falcon and Winter Soldier, we know what's gonna happen, right? We know these characters already from years of seeing them. So they had a lot of hard work just to produce this first episode. And also what's cool is we didn't see much of previews for other episodes. Like most of the stuff we've seen was in the
Oh,
first
that's true.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I have a feeling we're in for a wild ride, and probably somehow they're gonna put a spin on stuff and introduce it more to the MCU. So yeah, I just wanted to know your takes on just this first episode. Like how was it for you?
Yeah, I agree. It definitely didn't have the typical MCU style. Well, I guess for maybe like the intro graphics, it's always got like that funny song playing in the
Yeah.
background. I love like when they used A Man Without Love, like in those scenes where it's like
Yep.
every day I wake up, then I like those little scenes. Oscar Isaac I think was great. As well, I guess Steven, what's his last name? Steven
Grands, I believe.
Grant. Oh yeah, and Moon Knight, of course.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke as I guess Wolfman. He's in
I
this show.
I don't
That
know.
was like actually a crazy introduction
Yeah.
because that was him that broke that glass, and
Right.
then like He put it in his his shoes. That's how we feel making this podcast.
Right.
It's
That's
pretty
how I
bad,
edit.
right? But that was a crazy scene. I like his weird like little Egyptian like scale powers. Like I guess he's like I forget the god's name that like is like the
It starts with an
judge of like
A.
your soul.
Oh, well,
Yeah, they
that's Anubis, no? That's Anubis, but
I don't know if it's Anubis. I think Anubis was the one that leads you to the underworld, but I don't know if he's the judge. I think it was like that weird crocodile thing.
yeah,
I
he's,
don't know.
like, infatuated with the beast, the one who nobody really, but the beast takes care of business,
Right.
basically.
Mhm.
Rad
Yeah, they
tattoo,
go
yeah.
into a lot of Egyptian mythology in the show, which I think is really cool. It's because I think we're so used to Norse mythology, with
Yeah.
Thor. So seeing a different, culture, I think is really interesting. And does this take place in Britain or New York? I forget.
No, it's supposedly in London. They didn't film in London, though, for the museum scenes. It was, like, somewhere else. But I think it was Budapest, actually, where they filmed the museum, but they CGI'd the top to say London, so it's all in London, but then it takes place, like, somewhere in, not Bulgaria, but somewhere else like that. It's like a globe-trotting type of adventure, too. It's like it looks like it has money into it, which I'm glad to see. So,
Yeah, and the film quality seems like really like crisp. I feel like I'm
yeah.
watching like movie quality, like cinematics on like on screen. So I'm surprised like they must have like a big budget for this TV show because it looks really good.
Oh,
Like
for
some of the
sure.
camera shots like look really like HD.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
more HD than our PNGs anyway.
Oh, no.
But,
Well, that's your fault, not mine.
right.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so there wasn't too much. Well, there was a few action scenes which I liked.
Oh.
Obviously, it was getting into like him trying to protect this scarab object. I think there's a background to it. I think it leads to like immortality or something.
Mm.
Um, so Mark and I like how they switch, Mark's personalities because he goes from being like to this typical dude with like, 9 to 5 job. And he's got like a date or something. He misses his date, and then it jumps to this other guy, and he's like having these weird, misadventures, like running from like guys with guns. So tell me what you thought about like the different like personality traits that Mark had or Steven, I guess.
Yeah, well, kudos to Oscar Isaac. I feel like with this type of character, you have to have a lot of range. And Oscar Isaac, like obviously, he's been in a lot of action movies. One of my favorite thing where I feel like this would matched him more, I guess, towards Mark Spector was in a movie with I think it's called The Frontier. It's a Netflix original, Ben Affleck and like Pedro Pascal, and the way they conducted themselves, right? They're ex-military, and I feel like I can't wait to see the way how Oscar Isaac handles himself in like situations with guns and just his posture. As Stephen Grant, such like a nice, like soft spoken, like just that little voice sounds a little goofy, like "Hey, yeah." It's like the range, beautiful, and I'm a big fan of Oscar Isaac, so seeing and we didn't even get to see much of it, but we definitely get the point. And I love the fact that the action scenes too, they didn't linger on them. Because you would expect like this John Wick type of fighting. No way, Jose. It was basically like when it gets heavy, you cut, and then all of a sudden Stephen Grant
Right.
again. You know, it's
Hmm.
it's really put an emphasis on an unhinged character. And I have questions too. Like, is he an unreliable narrator? Probably. And I can't wait to see how they play with that and see how like maybe he goes against certain allies that Stephen Grant
Hmm.
didn't want to go against, right? So I think that's going to be really cool to see in the future. And again, they're holding a lot of secrets because it's a big mystery, and I can't wait to unravel it, right? And so
Hmm.
yeah, I love the show so far. Kudos to the showrunner as well. I love how they're staying true to mythology as well. Like as you can see, like in a poster that he had earlier, he mentioned it was like 9, right, instead of 7, I believe. Just like little stuff like that, and I feel like I'm more interested in Egyptian mythology as well because of it. That's like a sweet museum, and I love Ethan Hawke as like an actor. I just want to point that out there as well. Like I love the characterization because that was completely like all his idea with the glass in the shoe. I It shows like a devotion, and it kind of shows like
It's like a cult worship almost.
yeah, like there's this practice where like he's as if he's a prophet, as Ethan Hawke
Hmm.
said, but he's a false prophet, right? And Ethan Hawke said if anybody thinks that they're a saint, stay far away from those people, right? And so
Right.
this is that character. I don't know who he is though, because in the comics he had like a short stint where he was like half paralytic. His face was at least, and that's it. He was like this type of weird character. So is he? Um, what was it? The Wolfman by Night? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think so because here's the thing. Again, they're still supposed to do the Halloween episode where, or at least a mini series where they casted already some guy. Um, and we talked about this in a news discussion, the last one actually, when we were talking about the Moon Knight trailer. Um, so I feel like they have to like take liberties with these characters. You know, so I don't know. Maybe it's an amalgamation, or maybe just like a complete construction from Marvel Studios
Or
instead of
reconstruction.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but give us your thoughts on just Khonshu. Actually, I think kudos to him too. I love Khonshu so far. He's like really funny. And give us your theories on why they call Stephen Grant the Worm too, which I found was really interesting. Like, how did
Oh, I
he
honestly forgot
manifest?
about that.
Yeah,
I think like Khonshu like has his own uh what do you call it? Impressions on different of personalities.
yeah,
So I think well obviously this character is someone who's obviously dealing with multiple personality disorders before he got his powers, right? So
right.
um I guess Khonshu is like another voice in his head. So it kind of like talks about like what's real. Like I love what you said about like, the unreliable
Oh
narrator
yeah,
too, because it's like who is he really listening to, right? And obviously he's leaving messages for himself too. It was interesting, like the beginning scene, like where he like you know he's tying himself to the bed, he's taping the door. And also like the little scene with like the pet shop where he goes to the fish, like
mhm,
so he's like he's not sure what time of day it is, like where he's been. He's obviously reading a lot, doing like all these activities, but then he forgets it in like in the blink of a second, right? But yeah, I do agree like Oscar Isaac does have like amazing range. The last movie I remember he was in was not Star Wars, but I think it was Sucker Punch, where he actually played a much darker character. I think he was like
oh
the bad guy in that movie. So I think he's gonna bring that to like the Mark character, because they do mention like he's the mercenary,
yeah.
which he is in the comics too. Um, I'm not sure who Layla is, and I'm not like a huge Moon Knight lore reader, but we saw like her name in the cell phone. Like, do you
Yeah.
know anything like
Yeah.
related to that?
Yeah, well, no, because I kept on thinking Layla Hassan from Assassin's Creed Origins because it was like Egyptian, so I kept on saying
Right.
Layla Hassan.
Li-
No, Layla. A lot of people are saying maybe it could be Lila, a different character from the Marvel comics, but I don't think so. I think it's just like an original character.
'Cause there was he scrolled through the cell phone, there was, like, a Duchamp too that we
Yeah,
saw. I think that's a actual character from the comics too.
I think that's his
Um,
pilot. If I'm not mistaken, correct you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's his helicopter pilot. There is a helicopter pilot that Moon Knight has. Because again, he's not like like he could fly and stuff like that. He still relies on like tech. And Stephen Grant
mhm,
is a millionaire, right? That's the one. It's kind of like the Bruce Wayne character. So it's weird how they did this twist. So like they're taking a lot
mhm,
of liberties with different characters. I don't know why. I don't know what purpose it will have, but again, they're keeping everything under wraps.
mhm, literally, because mummies.
Yeah, that's why I kept on saying. I was hoping somebody would catch on.
Right. Well, speaking of that, what did you think of, like, his his actual appearance as Moon Knight? 'Cause I'm obviously they pulled it, we saw this in the trailer, but, it was kinda cool how they did it, how they built up to it, 'cause he's like, give me control," right? So he's trying to, like, not give in to this other personality. But then, when he's faced with this, threat, obviously he has to let loose, and like it's almost like Venom, like in a way, like
Yeah.
how like Eddie has to like let Venom take over sometimes. So what do you think of like seeing him like his first appearance on as Moon Knight?
Yeah, that was so brief, and we seen that in the trailer too, but awesome costuming. I like seriously awesome work on that, and I thought that that was such like yeah, like you said, a Venom moment. There's this build up, and now that you said that, I'm thinking, is there like type of is the Moon Knight costume type of is it gonna be like a symbiote? It kind of seems like that, right? He has like these like voices in his head, so it's kind of like kind of like
Hmm.
a symbiotic thing. I don't know, but yeah, I thought it was great. That action scene really shows how strong Moon Knight is. I can't wait to see more of his powers. I mean, we've seen some clips too, of him like gliding a little bit and stuff like that. I'm wondering how he's gonna handle like weaponry, like what type of weaponry he has, all that. But yeah, what did you think of it?
I love the costume. I mean, look, it's a great interpretation of it. Because in the costume, it's just like literally just a white mask and a hood. But here, I love how they incorporated the Egyptian like qualities to it, like how it's like actual wrapping, like a mummification almost. I am interested to see how they do the Mr. Knight personality because we did, we were teased that in the promotions. Um, but yeah, so predictions for next episode.
Yeah, I think so I'm wondering how he's like Mark or AKA Moon Knight is going to escape that museum like after what happened. Like I wonder if it's just gonna cut somewhere. Maybe Steve like wakes up again. And I'm also wondering like I want to know more about Layla. And I also want to see more of Moon Knight too in costume. I was just thinking like perhaps we'll see Mr. Knight next episode. I don't know how it's only 6 episodes, so I'm like wondering like what they're going to do. We're probably gonna see some more explainers too on like how he got the powers. Maybe it's too soon to say, but like I have a good feeling because I know for sure Mark is going to speak a lot more to Steve. Because of Ethan
Mhm.
Hawke's character, they kind of have to like debrief Steve a little bit more. So those are my thoughts. I don't think it's going to be such a huge like unraveled mystery. But
Mhm.
yeah, so what do you think?
I agree with your points. I think I definitely want to see more of the Mark Spectre personality because we only got like a few lines of dialogue from him. So it was mainly like Steven's episode. I wonder if it would be cool if like they did that whole episode, like episode one, they did it the same way in episode two, but it's from Mark's perspective, right? So like all those
Oh,
times that he cut out and we didn't see what happened, so we actually see Mark's perspective when he took over. Maybe we get to see like him like beating up the guys,
there you
or that's
go.
how he got like all bloody. So that could be like an interesting way that they handle like the different personality traits. To more like Khonshu also. It's so funny. We're talking about Venom. Yeah, the voice reminds me of like Venom so much, like the way he sounds and stuff. He's like, this
Right.
idiot's taking over again.
Right.
um, yeah, I definitely want to see more of like Ethan Hawke. Like he plays such like a good, almost like a Charles Manson kind of like character, like a cult leader, like we were talking about. So like I want to see more of his powers, too. Like, does he just turn into Wolfman, or does because they kind of like show like he has the power to like, judge people and like send people to the underworld and shit. So that could be really cool. I'm excited for the next 5 episodes. It's gonna be short, but I like the quality that we're seeing so far. I think Disney Plus really did great job bringing this character to life. I wonder if it's gonna be like more mature or like we were talking about like the violence aspect of it in other episodes. So I wonder how far they're gonna take it. Obviously, they showed that they're keeping the Defenders in Disney Plus. It's gonna be under the parental controls, so it's not gonna be accessible to younger viewers. So I wonder if they're doing applying that to Moon Knight also. But it's still available like right away. So as soon as you open the app, so I'm wondering how they're gonna treat that. But overall, great opening act for Moon Knight, and I love the opening titles too,
Oh yeah,
and the closing titles too. I think that's really cool. Like Marvel always has like a motif to their different like movies and shows, so we get like a lot of cool like Egyptian theme graphics. But
for sure.
how would you rate this episode?
Oh, 10 out of 10 for me. I honestly think it did its job. I think they executed it perfectly and it kept me wanting more. I think if you're lazy, like a lazy viewer and you want everything, fed to you right away, it's not for you. But this is a mystery. And they said before it's basically Fight Club mixed with Indiana Jones. So I think it did its job, right? So yeah, 10 out of 10. What would you rate it?
I'd say 9 out of 10. It was great. It wasn't perfect for me, but I did like it. I did enjoy it. I think the expectations can only get higher from here, so I can't wait to see what how they handle, like I said, the next couple episodes. But I enjoyed it for what it was. So yeah, can't wait to see what they bring next for episode two.
For sure.
But overall, thank you guys for watching our episode. I apologize for my face in the cold opening.
He was spazzing out. Sorry, guys. It happens.
I was just thinking like you remember that scene where like he's in the elevator with the
Yeah.
lady and she's trying to like get into her apartment. Like that's the face she sees. She's like, "Oh, okay, well, I gotta go now."
They see your face in the mirror. He gets more scared. He runs to like that wolf thing. Oh my gosh.
But thank you guys again. Make sure you're following the podcast for future episodes. We do review by review, episode by episode reviews every week. We're also covering Halo
Yeah.
side by side with this show too. We have our Morbius review out already.
Yeah.
We also have a Defenders episode where we revisited all the Defenders series like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and all that jazz. So make sure you're following for good Marvel content. Akram has amazing intro to this episode too.
Yes.
Love your graphics. So
Thank you.
you know the industry is always evolving, as you say. So just like that, our podcast is always evolving as well. So,
Yep.
but we can't do it without you guys. So make sure you're supporting the channel any way you can. Like, or follow, share. But we appreciate you guys. So until then, thank you for having lunch with us.
See you guys. That was just a jump scare. It was a jump scare.
That was the hardest recording of my damn life.
Oh wait, well, let's clap.
That was harder than episode 1.
That's why I'm about to